Welcome once again to The Sage. Thank you for joining us again. I'm sure you must have remembered the previous episodes and thoroughly enjoyed them. We promise you yet another exciting show today. And for me, your host, Dr. KECHI BUAGU. This is a particular show that evokes the motherhood in me. I have a truly wonderful young man as guest today. And all through during the period I've known him, he is, let me confess up front, one of my C4C fellows. Each time I look at him, I think to myself, this is a son to gladden any mother's heart. Quiet, dignified, doesn't talk a lot, but a great achiever. Determined, a young man who knows where he's going. And so he brings me to want to talk to many young people out there. It doesn't matter what life has served you on a platter as family or parents. You have come into this world to be your best. And your journey begins right at the very beginning, as soon as you begin to know yourself. As early as possible, it is your God-given duty to use the circumstances you find yourself in to build yourself, to grow yourself, to achieve your objectives and your goals so that you can be the best you can and give your best to this world and indeed make this world a better place. And just to show you that it's not just dreams from this mother, that it is doable, that it is the reason for which we exist, the reason for which you exist. I have brought a delightful young man as my guest today on this show. Very successful now, but a young man who will tell you how he has done it, his own journey through life. Take my word for it. It's going to be an exciting and inspiring discussion. Stay with us as we discuss and introduce our guests on the next segment. Thank you. Welcome back to The Sage. I am your host, Dr. KECHI BUAGU, and thank you for staying with us. It's now my special pleasure to introduce you to a very special young man who is my guest, our guest of the show today, to introduce you to Yoni Okonkwo, a gentle giant. Yoni, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Ma. It's been an amazing journey with C4C, and thank you for having me on the platform. My name is Okonkwo Yoni Okonkwo. I'm from Anambra State. I'm a co-director at Tech Technologies. I'm the third in my family, and it's not been all rosy growing up because I was born in an average family, and we wouldn't say we were born with a silver spoon. I'm not sure it was even a wooden spoon. What life gives you, you try and make the most out of it. My dad will always say, when it gets tough, you become tougher, and then you align yourself and make the most out of a bad situation or a seemingly bad situation. Growing up was a challenge because it's this thing our parents do. They want to cover up, they want to always be there, even if there's nothing to be there with. They want to always show that, and even if they are cutting their own skin to make sure you are
Yeah.
well off.
Yeah.
And I think it was a gift that I realized it at the time, and I decided, oh, I wouldn't have my parents do everything because we're four and they wouldn't do everything for the four of us.
Yeah.
So I needed to seek an alternative. So while in secondary school, having been denied the opportunity to ride NICO, because my parents weren't buoyant enough to pay for it, I started doing some cards, gift cards, because relationship was thriving then. So
in the days when people used to write love notes,
yes, not these days of WhatsApp. People always want to get love notes, so I decided to make it in card form, and then give it to them. It looks like a play. So I sell it then, and I used the money to fend for myself while in the hostel.
But it shows you had artistic talent, no?
Yes. Right now I draw, but
okay.
There's a lot of things I do from time to time, but there's one thing again with skills. It takes you off if you're not very focused. So right now I'm trying to, at least as much as possible, focus on one area and then move on to the next. So growing up was a challenge, and I started doing stuff to raise money. And then in university was also a difficult push, but I was able to sustain myself doing menial jobs and making sure the burden is not so much on my parents.
That's a wonderful, wonderful thing to do.
It's been a wonderful journey in this entrepreneurship thing. A lot of persons feel it's a risk being an entrepreneur, but there's
let me take you back to that menial job thing, because sometimes I think many of our young people we need to replay that. That there was no, you were not too proud. You needed to get yourself educated, and doing menial jobs that paid you. If that was the way to go, that is the way to go. I think that's a wonderful thing.
Yes. I was even very proud of it. I would go to down Lube then and maybe do some electrical work. Then my dad there would be like, go change, go and dress up. I'm like, no, I'm going to the eatery like this. This is where I'm getting the money to eat. So I was always proud of it. There's no shame in what you do.
Absolutely.
So far it's giving you money, it's making you stand on your two legs. Make sure you're proud of it. So whatever it is that you do that gives you money, be sure that you're proud of it. Brag about it, because there are persons that want to do the same thing, but they do not understand how to do it. They are even not motivated enough to do it. So far, it is something you derive joy from. Brag about it.
And it is legal, of course.
Yes.
Okay, so what did you study in the university? Yeah,
I finished from University of Abuja. I studied biological sciences. Now I'm into the ICT world.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow, what drove you into the ICT world?
Well, it's still part of the entrepreneurial journey, because I was serving with a friend of mine in fellowship, and at the time we felt we could do more because we aligned together in most of things that we were exposed to. So we felt we could form a partnership and then take it higher. Then we wanted to do sound engineering, but the costs was just so much. So we decided to do students registration in the University of Abuja, and that's how we started. But our first attempt at business officially saw us losing so much. So we had to fall back on selling the assets we had invested in.
Oh, wow.
So
wow.
We realized then in our own small niche that people were interested in getting these things because they were coming from us at a very cheap and affordable rate. So we had to sit back and then ask ourselves, if people are going for this, why not make it elaborate? Why not? Don't limit yourself to just the registration aspect of the idea you had. Why not give people what they are asking for? So we delved into laptop sales, and it's been an amazing journey.
That is interesting. we're going to explore a bit more. Because what I can read from that is you were sort of scanning your environment, identifying needs, and like the true and opportunities, and like the true entrepreneur, using them to widen your business.
Sure.
We'll come back and you will talk to us a bit more on the lessons you learned from the first failure and then how you strengthened the business further. Stay with us. Stay with us. This is an amazing story which I'm sure many of you can relate to. We have a lot to learn from Yoni. Talk to you in the next segment. Welcome back to The Sage, and thank you for having stayed with us. In the last segment, we were talking to a truly enterprising young man, Mr. Yoni Okonkwo, who was sharing his ever-increasing passion in entrepreneurship with us. Yoni talked about his first brave venture, which collapsed, and how he now has managed to turn it into a great success. So Yoni, my dear, well, thank you once again for being with us. And tell us a bit more. What were the lessons learned from that first unsuccessful attempt? How did you now concretize your business? What is your present business structure? And of course, what are the skills? How have you gained the skills, both within being a fellow in C4C and otherwise, to actually do what you're doing?
Okay, thank you very much. For us, we had started off in 2016 and did business in 2017 January, and that was we lost between January and April. What we realized was we didn't lose our investment. What we lost was the profit on the investment. So that means it was profitable, just that we were not doing some things right. And that was in our planning. We had stumbled on C4C. We were already stable, sort of, because we had started off, like I said, selling, doing registrations. But we kind of joined laptop sales to it. But we did that in a way for 2 years, but we modeled it up. Then when we met C4C, had about C4C registered there and went through the amazing classes, we were able to restructure our business. We were able to separate the photocopy part, the registration part. We turned the services, and then we separated the laptop sales, which we now categorize in the sales department of our company. Because what we were doing before, prior to C4C, was that we were having money, but the money was not obvious. So we were afloat, but not having money to put back in the company. But with the trainings, with the exposure C4C gave, with the support, we were able to, now we can be able to say, this is services and this is sales. So it helped us structure our business in a way that I wouldn't be around for the business to run. I don't need to be around for the business to run. We'll have 2 persons working for us currently, and then because we exist in the student environment, we also encourage students in the sales part where we'll give you stipends if you're able to sell our products. So you don't need to be a permanent staff. So they're more like sales agents. So whatever you sell, you make profit from it. And it's been an amazing journey. It's been all engaging because there's nothing as being successful without having others succeed with you. It doesn't make sense.
Absolutely.
So if you have a couple of persons succeed with you, then you can sit back and then be joyful that, yes, you're actually changing the society.
Wonderful, wonderful. I'm so inspired. There's so many gold gems or gems of gold in what you have said. There's that amazing ability to detect new areas. There's that focus where you have learned to focus your business, delineate them, so that you're not mixing ledgers, so to say. But I also love that bit about carrying others along. helping students to also succeed, even as they help you make your business strong. They are also help fending for themselves. Yeah, it's a symbiotic. That is the word in science. It's a symbiosis, so that they're also gaining, and while your business is expanding. It's just an amazing story, and I suspect that the lesson of the previous failure was with you all through it all.
Sure.
So make
Sure.
So, yeah.
Not had to lose again. I can beat my chest that it's not going to happen again.
Amen to that.
Then the COVID also posed a challenge that at first we thought we couldn't succeed, but I'm proud to say we had our best sales during COVID.
Wow, really?
The problem we had during COVID was our undersupply.
Okay.
Yes, because there were many persons that wanted to get our products. I needed a laptop, and it was overwhelming because borders were short, things were not coming in, and you just had to tell, oh, please, we cannot be able to satisfy you now.
Okay.
So when most persons were struggling with having to sell what they had, our own challenge was having to reach or meet the demand that
was there and you couldn't meet.
Yes.
So how did you deal with that?
Okay. That's where I don't know. We were favored sort of because we had majority of them wait. Because if you could get an i5 at 150,000 naira, we would give you at 90,000 naira. So the difference kept most of them there. They waited for us to.
It made them loyal clients, eh?
Yes. And we had a lot of them picking other persons, and when you tell them, oh, the projects are not there here yet, they'll be like, oh, wait. Because one thing with business is understanding your environment. We are dealing a lot with salary earners. So there was this structure we created for them where they could be able to pay on installments.
Okay.
So it was something that was not obtainable anywhere for them. So we were like the only option they had.
Okay.
So
that is good business as well as being kind, eh?
Yes, it helped us remain afloat in business.
Okay. Yoni, thank you so much. I am so excited when I am talking, because let me just share a secret with all of you. Yoni was one of our sets in our fellowship program for entrepreneurs in C4C. And let me just say that the characteristics this young man demonstrates are one that are wonderful. And if you're not careful, you miss them. You see, he is not a talker, but he's a thinker. He's always one step ahead thinking. And in his set, when we asked them to elect a leader, as we traditionally do, it was a consensus decision. Everybody said Yoni, and we were surprised. And we looked, and he smiled and said, oh, why me? But it is because I believe that his fellows, the other fellows, understood him for what he was. Somebody of integrity, quiet, but a leader, a natural leader, an innovator, somebody who is always thinking ahead. And so, Yoni, we're proud of you. We pray for you as we do for all our fellows, and we know you will do exceeding well, that your business will grow and you will fulfill the dreams of this organization. Because when we support young entrepreneurs and train them, it isn't just so that you do business. It is so that you are tomorrow's Dangote. That someday you will transform and gradually increase your business to a mega billion-dollar business, and that you will provide jobs and employment for so many other young people out there. So we thank you as we continue to pray and invest in you. Yoni, as we sort of wind up in this segment, can I ask you to say a few words to our audience out there?
Well, it's a wide opportunity there. We have more than 2 million Nigerians that have various needs. that means you have more than 2 million opportunities out there waiting for you. So whatever you want to do, be sure that your heart aligns with it. Resonate at your own frequency. Learn your waters, understand your environment, and make the most out of it. It's never too late to start. A lot of persons might be out there feeling, no, my world is falling on me and the rest of it. Nobody's world is falling. It's our world, it's our collective world. Our duty is to make the most out of it. And by doing that, we'll help others stand. Because whatever you do, there's someone that is looking at you. There's someone that is encouraged without you knowing it. So the onus falls on us to always be outstanding in whatever we do, no matter how small you think that is. Some person out there is striving to do a little on the average of what you do. So whatever you do, please stand sure and make sure you succeed in it. It's never too late. Thank you very much.
Wonderful words to end the program. Whatever you do, it's never too late. And no matter how bleak or difficult you think your circumstances are, there's always hope if you're willing to try, if you're willing to work, if you're willing to work very hard and keep at it. I find Yoni's story so inspiring because, you see, you can't accuse him of having been born with a silver spoon. He said he wasn't sure it was even a wooden one. But he's somebody who has proven, has shown that with determination and passion and innovativeness and hard work, it can be done. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for sharing the joys of this young man with us. And do tune in again next week. We have many other wonderful young people to bring before you. Yoni, it's a real pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mom.
See you guys next week as we continue our journeys of discovery and of treasures. Thank you.